What is up, guys? James here from the Light of Riga YouTube channel, and in this video we're going to be doing a reading for all my Virgo Sun sign friends. If you were born between the dates of August 23rd and September 22nd, then you are a Virgo Sun sign and this reading is for you. Today we're going to be doing a look at money and abundance. This is a spread that's going to tell us what is blocking your money and how you can fix it, and your relationship to money and how you can improve it, and just how to have a better relationship with money and abundance. So it should be a fairly eye-opening spread. I have brought some crystal friends with me today. Let me introduce you. This one over here is a smoky citrine, and they're relatively hard to find. They get down to the root causes of your issues. Then I've got a lab-treated amethyst, which is an amethyst has been heated up in the lab to bring it to the energies of a citrine. It's a little bit more powerful. Then I've got a natural citrine here from the Congo, and then a tumbled honey citrine. Oh man, citrine is the crystal of abundance and manifestation, so I thought it would be great energy to have with us today on this reading. And I'm also going to be using the Mystical Tarot, which is a fun, quirky, weird, it's a little bit weird, it's a fun deck though, so we're going to have some fun on this reading, and we're going to get down to the root causes of some issues as well. Remember, this is going to be a general overall reading, and if everything might not apply to you specifically, but take what you will, leave the rest. If you want a more specific reading tailored just for you, then head on over to my Etsy shop and we can tap into your specific energies. But as it stands, general reading, give me a moment to ask the tarot cards a question. What are the energies surrounding Virgos when it comes to money and abundance at this time in mid-July? Alright, that ought to do it. Let's cut the deck and deal some cards. I gotta have it just perfect. Now, we're also going to ask the Earth Magic Oracle what message it has for Virgos concerning finances, concerning abundance at this time. This is a fun Earth-based deck, so let me give it a quick shuffle and ask the question, what message do they need to know concerning money and abundance? And we will look at that card at the end of things, end of the reading. Alright, let's get into it, shall we? This card, the first card we're going to look at, represents how you see or relate to money. We've got the Empress. Interesting, very interesting. I get the feeling that money surrounds you guys, at least abundance. This is the card of abundance. Wait, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I read it as the Empress. No, this is the High Priestess. Strike that, reverse it. I got excited. I saw a lady, so I thought Empress. No, I'm sorry. It's the High Priestess. Excuse me. Let me go into this card. Okay, I'm getting the feeling that you guys there's some hidden aspects that you're not quite looking at. I get the feeling that, there's an aspect to money and abundance that hasn't been kind of brought to the surface for a lot of you. Remember, this is a general overall reading. It's not going to apply to all of you, but I'm getting the feeling that there's kind of an internal struggle going on with you as far as how to interact with money in a healthy way. And I'm getting the feeling that maybe some of you have asked the question, and those of you who have found the answers, and you're living a more healthy, more abundant lifestyle. So I think I get the feeling of part of you as a group have done that, and you have a more healthy view of money. But I'm getting also the sense that another part of you as a group have not asked that question and have not found the answer yet. And that question is, how do I use money in a balanced, efficient way that is going to provide the highest good for all involved, basically. And Yeah, that's something that we're all, questing to figure out, I feel like. And yeah, from this card, I'm getting the sense that some of you have done that and some of you haven't. And that's okay if you haven't. You're no less worthy than the people who have. It's just you're not yet on that path yet. Okay, so yeah, this is a weird card. I'm getting a very strange vibe from this card. I'm getting the feeling that half of you, maybe around half, some of you have gone and asked yourself that internal question. Others have not, and so I guess there's a little bit of which side do you fall on? I don't know. You tell me. All right, this card represents what you need. As far as money goes, we've got the moon. And so the moon card talks about self-reflection, going inwards. I really see the high priestess and the moon here working together. I see that as a call for you to go inward, to ask the tough questions. Why do I truly want money? Why do I feel like I need money? If I had a lot of money, what would I do with it? And these are all questions that you kind of need to ask yourself. And so you're having a more conscious view of money, and you're consciously working money into your life in a beneficial way. If you're kind of unconscious about money, you allow society's pressures to dictate how you view it. And society says, whoever has the most money is the winner. Society says you can't be happy unless you have a lot of money. People are going to look down on you if you don't have money. So, if you're unconscious about money and you haven't asked these real internal questions yet, then that's probably how you're going to think about money. And this card is saying that in order for you to change your opinion about money and abundance, if you haven't yet changed it, you're going to have to go inward and ask those really tough questions about yourself and get answers from your internal self rather than from external sources like society, because those external sources are trying to manipulate you and into buying into this whole rat race thing. And I think that's something that you have to figure out for yourself, is what this card is implying. The moon is a very solitary card. This is the card about going inwards, just letting go of the outside world and just focusing on the inside, the shadow self possibly. So yeah, I think what you need is to go inside. For a lot of you Virgos, is to figure out those answers. Ask yourself those questions so that those answers can come to you. So that is what you need as far as money goes. This card represents what you already have. And we've got the Eight of Cups. Okay, I get the feeling that you guys have the ability to walk away. If something doesn't quite feel right as far as finances goes, you guys don't really have a problem just stepping aside and saying, meh, not for me. And I think that's a pretty cool thing. I think you guys are following your emotions, which is a very positive thing when it comes to money. So many of us think of money and abundance solely in a logical fashion. And of course, you're going to make mistakes if you think in a solely logical fashion, because you're not following your higher guidance. And your higher guidance kind of speaks to you through emotions a lot of the time. And so I get the feeling that you guys are listening to your higher guidance, whether you realize it or not, by following your emotions and allowing your emotions to dictate things rather than your ego mind. Of course, you need some aspects of the ego mind in there to help you make the right decisions. You need a well-balanced approach to making decisions. But this card is telling me that you guys will use your emotional energies to help influence you as far as money goes, and I think that's a very good thing. It's a very beneficial thing for you guys, because you're more well-rounded and you're less susceptible to fraud or just any kind of misinformation, because you're following your higher guidance rather than human exterior guidance. So that's very good. Keep that up. Keep following your emotions, you guys. If you don't feel something's right, if you feel something's off about some deal or some project or some coworker, then really listen to that guidance, because your intuition is guiding you through your emotions, and it's probably guiding you towards the highest good. I'm not probably, it is guiding you towards the higher good, so you should continue to follow that. Good job. All right, this card here represents blockages to money and abundance. We've got the Fool. The ability to take risks, the willingness to take risks is the kind of the thing I'm getting from this. The willingness to jump off that cliff and, maybe things don't work out and you splatter on the ground, or I don't know, what's the converse of that? Maybe you fall into a lagoon and it's an oasis. I don't know. I don't know where I was heading with that. But yeah, this card is saying basically what a major block to your more harmonious relationship to money is the ability to take risks, or the willingness to take risks and maybe try new things. And I get the feeling that maybe a lot of you are stuck in routine and you start to feel like that's the only way you can make money. Let's say you're in a job that you don't really like and you make I don't know, $3,000 a week, or not a week, a month. Let's say a month. And you start to feel like, you do this job for years and years and years, and you start to feel like that's the only place your abundance comes from. It's just from this paycheck. And so you kind of feel dependent on this job, and you don't want to leave this job because it feels good and it feels safe, and you're like $3,000 a month. Yes, perfectly. But what this card is saying is that kind of mentality is sort of a blockage. If you're not really willing to expand your horizons, if you're not willing to try new things and go off on new adventures, then you're not allowing the flow of new types of abundance to come into your life. And this card is saying that in order for you to change the way that abundance comes to you and increase it possibly, is you got to get rid of this blockage that says, I must do things this way, this is how I do them, this is how I've always done them, and this is how I'm going to get abundance. And if you step out of that energy and start to realize that this world is way more complex, and the ways that abundance can come into your life is way more varied than you would ever imagine, then you're gonna allow it to come in. But as long as you had a narrow mind state concerning that, then your money is gonna come in a narrow way. So that is a blockage towards financial abundance that I see in a lot of Virgos. Let's go over here. This card represents steps you can take to improve your relationship with money. And of course, we got an ace. Why wouldn't we have an ace? We got the Ace of Swords. So this card is saying that what you can do is start to change the way you think about money. Start to bring in a new idea about financial abundance. And that new idea, is going to come from the inside. Is what I'm saying. It's going to come from inside of you. This is not an idea that's going to be provided to you by society. This is not a new idea for what job to get. This is not a new idea for lotto numbers. This is a new idea about how to think about money. And you're going to have to change the way you think about it. You're going to have to move away from the way society has trained you to think about it and move towards what your internal guidance is telling you about money. And if you're able to do that, if you're able to shift the way you think about money, then you're going to be also shift the way that money comes to you. So this is a very important card in my opinion. And I think all these cards are speaking to each other in a very interesting way. But yeah, we'll go over it after I do the last card, and we'll see what it says overall. But yeah, definitely a blockage here that you guys need to work on, and the way you can work on it is to think of money in a new way. Alright, this card represents the outcome if you make the changes outlined in this spread, and we've got the Death card. Don't be scared, guys. This Death card is one of the most positive cards in this position right here. It is huge, and what I'm seeing is a huge transformation. I think that a lot of you if you can follow the advice suggested in this spread, are on the brink of a huge shift in the way money comes to you, the way you think about money, and just the way money interacts with your life. And the Death card here is saying this is going to be a sudden change that is going to rock your world. And you might even see it as negative at first, possibly. A lot of people see change negatively, but all changes for the positive, and this is like a super positive card in this position because it's going to change a whole social paradigm that you've believed in your whole life, and that's going to come crumbling down. And whenever that happens, there's a period of just like shock and awe, and there's a little bit of like fear there. But once that passes and you start to see this new paradigm coming in, you're going to say, what was I thinking before? This is how money interacts in my life. I get it now. Okay, so let's go over these cards. I think how you relate to money right now is, I think I get two things from this card. Either you're in the camp where you've asked yourself these questions and you've kind of broken away from the way society has taught you, or you're still in it. And if you're still in it, then some questions need to be raised, and these questions are not questions you pose to the outside society. These are questions you got to pose to yourself. You're going to have to get introspective and start asking those questions of yourself. Why do I think this way about money? How can I shift my way of thinking about money to a more positive mind state, which will allow the more positive flow of energy into your life? You think of money as energy, and you start to see things a little bit differently. Okay? I think you guys do a very good job of following your emotions and not letting maybe logic overpower your emotions in decision making. I think that's a really good thing. Keep that up. You guys are very good at that. Bringing emotion to the financial aspect of your lives. But the blockage is maybe an unwillingness to see things in a new way. And that's exactly what these cards are calling for. They're telling you it's time to see things in a new way. And your blockage is you don't want to see things in a new way. So something's got to give, my friends, my Virgo friends. You got to give, or you got to shift the way you think in order to shift the way money interacts. And just to be clear, this spread is not about how to get more money. This spread is about how to have a more balanced life with money and have a better relationship with money. So I think a blockage here is not allowing new things to come in. But how you can do that is to change your thought process, change your system of beliefs, and that's no small task, let me tell you. I'm not saying this is something that will happen overnight, but when it does happen, we're looking at a big sudden change here for the better, and a huge shift, like I said, a paradigm shift in the way that your whole being interacts with money. So I think there's a lot of possibilities for positive change on the horizon for Virgo friends. So it's looking good in that respect. All right. So before we go, let's take a look at this Earth Magic Oracle. It had a message for us concerning how you can interact with money better. And we got Forest Breath. Okay, so from this card, I'm getting the sense that, the forest is a living, breathing thing. If you look at, there's individual beings within this forest, but as a whole, the forest is a living, breathing thing, and it does these natural breath cycles. And it's, breathing in and it's exhaling, and breathing in and it's exhaling. And I think the message here for you is to be more like the forest. Get the energy flowing. I'm getting the sense of a little bit of stagnated energy from you guys concerning money. And I think what you need to do is breathe in money and exhale money. And what I mean by that is allow the flow to go through you rather than telling money how it must come, and trying to imprint your ego thoughts on what you think about money. Be more allowing, and just let it come more naturally to you, and breathe it in and let it go. And what that means is, take in money, but also give it out, and just have a more natural approach to money, and just stop trying to impact your will on what you think it should do for you and how it should come to you and what you have to do with it. Be more natural. Be more like the forest, it's not going anywhere. It's just hanging out, having a great time. So that's how if you can shift your ideas. I think that's what this Ace of Swords here is saying. If you can shift to more of that kind of energy, then I think you're going to be doing a lot better, Virgo friends. Okay. So that is the money abundance spread for Virgos. Remember, guys, this is a general overall reading. If you want a more specific reading where I tap into your specific energies, then head on over to my Etsy shop. The link is in the card and the description. We can do all sorts of spreads over there, including this one if you want, and tap into you so that you get a more personalized answer. Please consider leaving a like if you enjoyed this video. It lets me know I did something right. Also, if you have any questions or comments, put those in the comment section below, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about things. And if you really like this video, please consider subscribing so that you stay up to date on all these videos, which I release pretty regularly. Alright guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Leave a like if you enjoyed this. Happy taroting. Peace.